we're all in this rat race to succeed. We are fueling our IQs, we are crushing our EQs. We had a child, an 8-year-old, who said that she felt uncomfortable when a man winked at her.
When your parents are open to talk to you, like how you said that parents have to share their life story also to the kids.
She stammered a lot profusely. Very, very talented child, by the way. However, there was a lack of confidence, or there were a lot of other factors, like she was being bullied, etc., due to which I think the stammering just increased so much. She joined our classes, and our workshops are online, okay, because we connect children from different parts of the world. And while that happened, we noticed that she just showed her face up till here. Because there was so much of stammering, there was so much of self-consciousness. There have been parents who say that, I want my child to go on stage and speak. I want my child to go out there and try this. I want my child to be an extrovert. And then I turn around and ask those parents, what among these have you shown your children?
From understanding the soul to shaping habits that stick, today's guest is a rare blend of insight and action. She has spent years working closely with young minds, guiding not just their mental health but emotional evolution. Hello and welcome back to another soulful episode of Raw and Real with Shikha. Today I have in the studio Charlotte D'Souza. Hi Charlotte, how are you doing?
I'm very good, Shikha, and thank you so much for that introduction.
Thank you, Charlotte. Tell me, what are you currently doing, Charlotte?
So currently I am the co-founder of Blah Blah Blah, where we conduct life skill workshops for children aged 7 to 17 globally to enhance their emotional intelligence.
When you mention blah blah blah, what blah stands for?
I loved your reaction at blah blah blah. I believe it's a word that a lot of adults and children relate to. It stands for building life's attainable habits. Basically, we're facilitating life skill workshops so that they can inculcate these habits which are absolutely attainable.
That's so good. I think children or the parents, they need this type of thing. But tell me that this was your forte, like you were already doing this?
Not at all, actually. So prior to this is almost Charlotte 2.0, I think.
Okay.
I think before this, for about 18 years, I was heading a lot of marketing and communications positions globally, in regional marketing, strategic alliances, and so on and so forth. But while I was in that corporate world, I believe every time I felt that there was a lack of EQ, or emotional intelligence. We're all in this rat race to succeed. We are fueling our IQs, we are crushing our EQs, and we're not realizing that we're actually meant to be human and work with people. And while that was at the back of my mind, 2020 was a year where I think a lot of people underwent a lot of changes. I, for one, yes, because I was made redundant because of my organization being acquired. Yes, one way of looking at it was, oh my God, this is the first time I've had a redundancy in my life. But the other way was I worked on upskilling myself. And while I was doing that, I came across a course called SOUL, School of Understanding Life, which was done by a sports scientist. And he trained us on life skills for adults. And while that was happening, there was one thought constantly in my mind, that why isn't this taught to children?
Children, yeah, because you just mentioned that you have taken the classes for adults.
Yes.
And then you are doing blah, blah, blah for the kids.
Children.
Yes.
So that led me to maneuver and do my course on psychology and child psychology. So that's why I said Charlotte 2.0. And that led to the beginning of Blah 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 with one of my closest friends who specializes in speech and drama. She is the co-founder, and that's why we are co-founders. And we together decided to start this journey for Blah Blah Blah, where we work with children and we raise them to be emotionally intelligent adults.
So did you see it coming from your house itself? Like, were you facing struggle with your kids?
Not really. Like I said, there were struggles with kids like every parent goes through, but that was not the inception of Blah Blah Blah. The inception was that the world needs emotional intelligence. The world needs more emotionally intelligent people. However, when I started, like I think a lot of parents do, we treat our children like our guinea pigs or so to say, samples to try. I would say I am extremely fortunate with my children. We did face struggles, but whatever I was learning and was about to teach, they were my first students.
So like you were counseling them as well.
Yes. So it started with them. We started practicing everything that we do at blah 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 with them, and yeah, they were my first. My creations, my forte, whatever you call them.
Would you like to share a story like of a child where like a memory, good or bad, like from the journey what you have started, like blah blah blah, say?
Absolutely, there have been multiple journeys. One thing
like,
that we
what are the difficulties basically?
I will go through one of them. At blah blah blah, generally, by the way, we say that we don't give you something new, we just make you the best version of who you already are. So basically, whatever is within you is being brought out when we talk about confidence or anything. So we had a child who's brilliant. She lives in Chandigarh, and she stammered a lot profusely. Very, very talented child, by the way. However, there was a lack of confidence, or there were a lot of other factors, like she was being bullied, etc., due to which I think the stammering just increased so much. She joined our classes, and our workshops are online, okay, because we connect children from different parts of the world. And while that happened, we noticed that she just showed her face up till here.
Okay.
Because there was so much of stammering, there was so much of self-consciousness.
And what age was she?
She was 8.
8. Okay.
And while she was 8, she has written enough content to at least author 3 books.
Oh,
by the way, at the age of 8. So that brilliant. But she had this thing, and while she's been with us almost for 2 years now. She'll be 10, and she doesn't stammer at all.
Wow.
Just because, and I'm not saying that I've just given her tricks or techniques, just because one starts believing, and when one worries or has a lot of other issues, it's because we let the world judge us.
Right.
We look around and we say that, you have the right to judge you. We give that right to the world. But in all honesty, nobody in the world has the right to judge you. So the moment you start believing that and believe that you can stand up there and put your voice out there, then
I think a lot of people like self-doubt themselves. Most of the time.
Correct.
Sometimes I do the same. Self-doubt, which like you let the other people win, and then So Charlotte, how do parents influence a child ability to freely talk about taboo topics like menstruations or adolescence?
Right, a very interesting question. I would break that question down while I answer that parents influence a child's ability to talk. While we as life skill workshop providers or counselors come into your child's life to help your child or bring out the best version, the primary role lies with parents, and I believe that communication is like a magical word.
Correct.
And I believe that there's another magical word called quality time, where your child needs just 10 minutes per day from you,
right,
minus your devices. So the moment parents show this through their actions, parents start spending the time with the children, parents start keeping those lines of communication open, your child starts talking.
Right.
But not only that, when parents also start sharing their life stories.
True that.
All children look at your parents like idols. They idolize you. They put you on a pedestal. It's high time parents get down from that pedestal and start talking to their children about the struggles they faced.
Correct.
In a very honest manner. The moment they do that, children start talking. And now coming to the second part of it, where you talk about adolescence or taboo topics, call them sex, periods, menstruations, vaping, drugs. There are tons and tons of them. Gender bias, you know, so many. The moment the first part is sorted, where your lines of communication are open, you will see how your children, whether they are preteens, they're teenagers, adolescents, young adults, they will come to you and talk, because you have opened that line of communication and you've started being vulnerable with them, and they will be vulnerable and they will start sharing with you.
True that. I mean, there's no safer place than home, and when your parents are open to talk to you, like how you said that parents have to share their life story also to the kids. Like that reminds me when I sit and talk to my teenage 18-year and an 11-year-old, that I tell about who am I, how did I did this, and what has happened in my journey all this while. So they listen to me and then they guide me. I mean, at this stage where I am supposed to guide them, they are guiding me. And what's best? It's coming from them. I am learning. Every day is a learning. for all three of us.
Absolutely.
So, Charlotte, I mean, the challenges you are facing every single day with parents have been there a time that parent have come and told you something like about a child where as they say that it's very difficult to make them understand and how we will cope up with this. So tell me about that.
Oh, absolutely. There have been a lot of parents who come and said, my child has turned out to be a rebel. My child was so much better when he was small. He's suddenly grown up and now I suddenly feel that he doesn't want to spend time with me or she doesn't want to spend time with me. I believe she's living a secret life. I believe she isn't talking. There have been parents who say that I want my child to go on stage and speak. I want my child to go out there and try this. I want my child to be an extrovert. And then I turn around and ask those parents, what among these have you shown your children?
Correct.
Of all that you said, how many steps forward have you taken? Apart from asking a child every day, how was your day? What did you do? Did you eat? Tell me what happened. Tell me something. Just asking doesn't work. That's why they say actions speak louder than words.
Right.
And there's a very in a very colloquial way, if I have to put it, they say monkey see, monkey do.
Okay.
A child will do what they see a parent doing rather than doing what a parent tells them to do. And half the time there are some parents who are not even social themselves, but they want their child to stand in front of 10,000 people and speak and say that I am behind you. Why, bhai?
Why?
You show me a little bit with your actions.
Correct.
And that is where, when I was very little, my mom said to me, and I believe it's written in the Bible and various other religious books also, which says when you point one finger at somebody else, there are three fingers pointing right back at you.
Correct.
So that's something that I would tell parents, and I start from that point. And once we start from that point, then a lot of things smoothen out.
Correct. I think parents should walk that extra mile along with them.
Absolutely.
And the element trust is really important.
Super.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Like when you talk about good touch or bad touch, how safe a child feels. Like what is the conversation between the parent and the child, if you can explain?
So important, and I'm so glad you touched on this topic, because recently we spoke about it in our workshops also, and we had, obviously on grounds of confidentiality, we had a child, an 8-year-old, who said that she felt uncomfortable when a man winked at her. I mean, that simple action made her feel so uncomfortable. There's another one who actually experienced bad touch from his own family member. But he is 11 and he hasn't spoken about this to his own parents.
Oh, that's a he.
Yeah, the 11-year-old is a he, the 8-year-old is a she. And that's why we call them really equal in that sense. And I felt that this child could have actually spoken about this to his parents, right? And he said, let's keep it confidential. But then we spoke with him and we said that if you just keep it to yourself, it'll never go away. You're just brushing it under the carpet.
Correct.
And you know what happens with topics like these which are brushed under the carpet? They fester, they smell, they stink.
And it becomes like traumatized.
Absolutely. They need to be brushed out. Nothing is taboo, truly. And that is where we got this confidence. We spoke to his parent. We spoke about how this should be open.
Right.
Because no parent wants their child to be hurt. But and only when a child who's gone through that pain has their parent on their side, they can then take on the world, or they can then make a difference, right? It's not the child's fault, or even as a person like me, I mean, it's not my fault if somebody has a bad eye towards me or does something bad to me, which it's interesting that you bring it up, and I don't know, I just feel comfortable talking about it. A couple of days ago, I faced something very uncomfortable when an extreme external man at a water park said that why are you in this water slide, why are you here? I mean, exactly. I come from Bombay, by the way, wherein we're in a very democratic place where people don't have, and I was so furious with him just splashing water on me, asking me why am I here, that I made sure that I went up to security and spoke about it and brought him up, and he was from here, and I felt that nobody has a right to question me in terms of what I choose to do when I'm not hurting someone. And that's something I teach the champs at blah 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 as well. So it's high time we talk about it. So my children were with me, and I felt that today I'm setting an example for them to not give up when you are not wrong. I mean, to stand up for what is right.
Yes, and stand up for what is right. That's absolutely correct. Charlotte, what is that top tip would you like to give to my audience
The topmost tip I would like to tell every single person is that first sentence which I said that, and that is also one of the first rules of blah blah blah, which says nobody in the world has the right to judge you. So when you stand up and you speak, remember your voice matters. Remember that everybody around them, whether they judge you or not, they don't have that right. So just don't give them that responsibility. Just go out there and put your voice out, because whether you're a quiet person or a loud person, whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, you have that voice and the world deserves to hear that voice. So remember to put that voice out there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, your voice, your story.
Absolutely.
And I think I should learn something from this, and then I should also come out from that zone of self-doubting myself. What is that one inspiration, like, which you want my audience to take away?
I don't know if it serves as an inspiration, but I would just put that on the 3 pillars of blah blah blah. They are I matter, you matter, and nature matters.
Would you like to elaborate that?
I will. I matter means I can do anything I set my mind to, and I just need to go out there and try. Yeah, I need to have a growth mindset and try. You matter means everybody across the world, irrespective of where they come from, irrespective of their caste, creed, sect, color, social standing, matters and should be respected. So your CEO needs to be respected as much as you respect the person who cleans your house.
Right.
So that is the second rule. And the third one is that nature matters. Sustainability is no longer a trend, and it's high time we sit and we talk about, oh, the UN is not doing this, the government is not doing this. What are you doing about this?
What are you doing?
Get out there and do your bit towards this environment, because the earth is really shouting out for help. So yeah, that would be my
Correct.
thing.
So Charlotte, tell me that, are you planning it for adults also, or it's only for the children right now?
So we have in fact completed our first adult workshop successfully. So we do it for children. We by demand have also started for adults, and apart from that we are also doing parent-child workshops, so that they can strengthen their bond.
Right, together. I mean, the bond is really important. How do you conduct your workshop, Charlotte?
So primarily our workshops are conducted online, a few of them offline. We online also we divide them into short-term and long-term workshops. Short-term workshops are generally for a week. So now we have summer camps coming up, and most countries have their holidays, right? So they come together, and we have a maximum of 10 children per batch, and at the end of the week we have a finale showcase for parents.
Right.
And then we have a long-term workshop which goes across the academic year. So we meet the children once a week, and we have periodic showcases there as well.
All right. Would you like to share some achievements?
Oh yeah, very humbled and grateful to say that we, in a span of 3.5 years, have covered over 215 workshops with children from 16 countries, hoping to reach that to 20 this year. We are also proud to say that we have a rating of 4.92 on 5 from children, and 4.87 on 5 from parents, and a Google rating of 5 stars. So yeah, and as we go along, we've got a few accolades and awards along the way. So yeah.
I think I like that when you said that 16 different countries.
That's correct.
So like, wow, I mean, that is amazing. Tell me how my audience can connect with you, Charlotte.
So they can follow us on Instagram on try blah blah blah, which is TRY BLAH, and we have our link in bio with a lot of forms where they can connect with us, and somebody will get back to them.
Sure, and I'll be putting all the links inside the channel. Please go and watch this episode. Blah 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 is going to change your life. Till then, we'll catch up in the next episode of Raw and Real with Shikha.